Welcome to Conversations in Literature. My name is Rugara, and on this episode, I was joined by Natasha Muhanji, a young writer and poet who is making waves in the literary world. Her work has appeared in Brittle Paper, the Kalahari Review, Writer Space Africa, WhoWhatWhere KE, SecondSkinMag, and in the 3 editions of the Qwani Anthology. She is also the 2023 Sondeka Awards Short Story Prize winner. Our conversation was broad and deep, exploring things like artistic identity, finding one's voice, and the pitfalls of chasing recognition at the expense of authenticity. Enjoy the conversation. I'll ask you a philosophical question. Mm-hmm. Who are you?
Wow. Wow. That's really going into it. Who am I?
Yes.
Who am I? I am Natasha.
You're Natasha?
Yes.
Who is Natasha?
She is a 23-year-old woman who is very passionate about writing.
I heard you say that you're a gamer, you're a voiceover artist, you're a writer. So these are multiple things, huh? So are you these things, or are these things you do?
There are things that I do, but writing for me feels like it's extremely a part of me. So feels like it's, inside my soul completely. Yeah.
How so? Or why? Like, what if you never found writing and you were a coder or a poet or not a poet or an actor? Maybe you could be an actor.
I feel like I would have always found writing because it started off as expression of something that I was feeling inside me that needed to be let out. Of course, there's that story that I had given you before, but a major part of it was also expression. So I've grown up in a family of readers. My grandfather used to read a lot. He still reads a lot. My mom reads almost every day as well. Yeah, so many readers. So I grew up with so many books around me. And by virtue of that, I just began reading because they were all around me. Your environment kind of shapes you to be who you are. So a lot of reading, and I used to accompany them to the supermarket and always run to the book section. Instead of running to the toys, for example, I used to go to the books and to get myself a new storybook. So it used to be a consistent practice. So one of these times, my parents bought me a very short book. I read it, and by the time we were in the house, I had already finished reading it. So I didn't want to stress them out again the next time that we went. So I was like, how about I just start writing my own stories? So I started typing in the house computer. That's also connected to me being a gamer because, when I was young, we used to have cyber. Then my dad used to bring games for us to play in the house, and I became a gamer because of that. So now within that same house computer, I was also writing on Microsoft Word, just writing.
What kind of stories were you writing? How old were you, first of all, when you started?
I think I would say like 9 or something.
9?
Around 9 or something.
What were you reading at 9?
I was reading is it called Aesop's Fables. And also, I don't know which age I got into Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys. You know those ones, Nancy Drew, Hardy Boys, Famous Five.
Harry Potter?
Harry Potter was a very touchy topic in our house.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because
It's magic.
Yes, because of the magic. So very
Witchcraft.
touchy topic. Yeah. That and Goosebumps.
Goosebumps.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it used to be a very big problem in the house. But
Yeah.
of course I did read them
Uh-huh.
from borrowing from my classmates in school.
What about these Moses series?
Yes.
Barbara came in.
Yes.
Remember
very much.
any Kenyan books?
I think Moses and the Kid.
Moses is Ugandan.
Oh, that was in Kenyan. Oh God. We used to read them in primary, so my brain just kind of.
Yeah, because you remember mostly,
Yeah. That's where most of my writing started.
You don't remember
out.
Do you read something like
Mm-hmm.
Adventures of Digger, those sorts of Worthy Around Still, Tales of Wamugonda?
I didn't read those ones when I was small.
They weren't around.
Maybe they were around, but they were not around me. So
I mean that, when I was growing up, these were in huge supply. They were around. You couldn't, if you talk to any millennial, you say beautiful Nyakeo. They remember that story because it was
I feel
around.
like I've read that. Sounds
Yeah.
familiar.
Yes. And of course the Moses series, at least it was around.
Yeah.
There was Ngogi Wadiongo's books for kids, Jambanene.
Yeah. I remember.
That was around?
Yeah.
Jambanene and the Flying Bus, Jambanene and the Pistol.
No, I can't remember that in our house.
No, I mean even at school.
School.
Yeah.
That's where we actually read the Moses series because we were told. I remember, I think I was in class 5 or 6. We were told to buy. I don't know how many books exactly there were in the series, but a couple of people were told these are the ones you're going to buy. Others, these are the ones you're going to buy. And then now when people finish reading, you exchange within school. Yeah, so that's how I actually got to read that. Another book I remember was The Ghost of Gabatul. I just remember it.
I remember that
quite a lot. And there was a certain book I can't remember the name of, but it used to be in our primary school library, and it used to terrify me. It had some ogre. Yeah, I think that's why I even ran into a couple of Kenyan books, but for some reason I can't seem to remember their names. I really used to frequent the library in primary school. Yeah, I was always there. Instead of reading for exams, I'm reading storybooks.
Then when you start writing, you're 9 years old and you've never written before, and this is what you are reading. So what do you write? You write something related to what you are reading, or are you writing about your dog, things around you?
Well, at first, writing that wasn't tied to school, I used to try to replicate the books that I was reading. Yeah, I used to try, and I think I can remember one of the first stories that I wrote. Something about like a prince and I can't remember it all, but I remember the storyline was something that was very prevalent in media. The whole, there's a prince, and then there's this girl in the kingdom, and then, that trope. It used to be in so many movies, of course. Then you find it in the books, the Disney books. I read quite a lot of Disney, the Disney princesses and everything. So I used to try and write that. And
a quick one before you go on. As a young girl growing up, watching those movies, or that sort of storyline, what did it make you feel? Like you're a princess, you want to be a princess, or what kind of narrative did you have in your head?
Of course, I saw myself in all those princesses. Yeah,
What was your favorite?
Who was my favorite? I had stickers everywhere in my room of like almost all of them. Who was my favorite?
Because each different princess has a different. There are princesses who are brave, princesses who are saved by a prince, princesses who are like intelligent, like that's their thing.
I know actually who. I really loved Belle from Beauty and the Beast.
Belle loved
she
books.
Used to exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. I really loved her. Then of course I also loved, what was her name? Mulan. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Mulan.
Mulan was
the one that pretended to be a guy.
Sort of a rebel. Like she rebelled against whatever was being imposed upon her. Do you feel that way?
I mean, yeah, to some degree. Because I feel like choosing to be in the arts itself is to some degree an act of rebellion against what quote unquote is normally done.
But you do get support from your family.
Yeah.
So you feel you're rebelling against society. What about gaming? Or is that, for fun?
As I mentioned, we used to have a cyber sauna, the house computer. So I grew up very, very good with computers. And of course the gaming went there. But as you grow up and you tell people you're playing games, like past high school, they're looking at you like, games? Like the games are for kids and everything.
And do they also look at it from the point of view of gender?
Oh yeah, oh god. Don't get me started on that. There's that a lot. I officially started playing like multiplayer games in 2021 there. Yeah, because I used to just download games and play, the story mode games, Kina GTA, or just the story mode games, play them offline in the house. But then I started playing online in 2021, and that's when I realized I had been in a bubble. And the fact that now I was gaming as a lady was something odd.
And the gaming culture is what's the word? It's known to be misogynistic.
Exactly.
There's something called Gamergate from around maybe it was 2014. There was something being called Gamergate where gamers, male gamers, there was this whole backlash they had against female gamers. Yes, and actually Gamergate is linked with the rise of the incels and Trump and so forth.
Because around that 2021, I used to... Okay, first I started playing with people who aren't Kenyan, because you play in servers, and the servers are like in the Middle East, and it's just random people, mostly guys. Then when you open your microphone to say something, the team is in B, they're like, you're a girl, and it starts being all strange. So of course for the major part, I just decided to not be speaking. But then now I got some friends within the country as well, and then we started playing together, who are mostly guys now, because there are female gamers of course, but if you compare the amount of female gamers and gamers who are male, it's there's a bit of a difference. So of course now I got more comfortable gaming with guys, because I used to feel like they're just going to start insulting me, and because it's happened quite a lot, and it's always happening. It's just the same thing you're talking about, how gaming and incels just
Actually, it's something I don't think it's just gaming. It's anything that has the word bros, tech bros, podcast bros, finance bros.
Oh yeah.
I realized anything that has the word bros, ends up having that incel-y vibe somehow.
Yeah, because now you're into it as a lady, and it's like they're looking at you like, okay, it's like this is not your space to be in. But now when you find people who you are on the same wavelength with in such a setting, you barely even think about it, but it's there.
So now you've read these Disney books, and you start writing stories that have those Disney sort of princesses as the main characters, and this goes on until
This goes on until around when I was reading stuff like Nancy Drew. So now I wanted to be a detective. Yeah, I wanted to be a detective, but of course that type of book is also, it has this undertones that also edge towards the whole being saved, but no, not Nancy Drew specifically.
Nancy Drew sounds more like Mulan.
Yeah, the same type of vibe, but no, of course I think there was that whole, I feel like that's tied to the movies mainly. Yeah, I'm
the Nancy Drew
that.
movies.
No, not the Nancy Drew movies. The type of movies that I was watching at the same time that I was reading, because it's this 2000s chick flicks and everything.
Yeah.
Stuff like what 10 Things I Hate About You. Those chick flicks.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So of course I wanted to write things that were similar to that. This is now when I'm, growing older.
So do you feel like
then
you have both sides today? Like one side of you is this kind of girl, and the other side of you is this kind of girl.
Well, I am multi-dimensional, so
yeah,
I wouldn't want to cage myself to one trope.
I mean, in the sense of art comes from tension. Yeah, tension within the artist. If there is no tension, there is no artist.
Yeah.
People who don't have tension within themselves don't create art. Like people who know themselves so well, people who don't face any opposition within themselves, they don't create art. How you talked about the rebel. The rebel who is an artist is somebody who has the tension within themselves, because they do have the society within themselves, because they've been taught by this society. So the society has entered into their consciousness, and then they have this other side which is like, no, that's not me. And in that interplay of this, or the duality of these two sides, something is ignited, and they create art which shows that sort of
friction.
Yes. So now, because I've seen this in your story, in the story you've told, that is, I'm wondering if that is something you feel is there in your work. These sort of two sorts of personas. So one is like, this is how it should be, and this other one is like, no, I want to do it this way. I know artists, writers especially, never really analyze their own work.
Yeah. Because it's more or less letting it out.
Yes,
it's like you're just letting it out, putting it on the table there. Like, if you guys want to read it, but this is like, I've let it out, it stopped disturbing me in my head.
Yes. Exactly. It's disturbing you in your head because there's a conflict. Yes. But do you feel any glimmer of recognition in the words I've spoken?
Yes, definitely, because the conflict, I think, is something pretty constant for most people, especially fighting against what they are expected to be doing, or they're expected to be writing. And to some point, I felt like I was free of that. Until now, I kind of stepped into the literary world. Then I realized that there is a certain way to do things. And you know, now for me,
to do which things?
Like, let's say you look at fiction writing, being told this and this is how you're supposed to write it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like I was a bit initially now, because you know I had been writing for myself. Yeah, I still do write for myself, but at that point I had been writing to let out something.
Mm-hmm.
Then now people read it and they're like, oh, interesting, we love how you write. So I started writing more. Then now when I started getting published, then I started interacting with more writers in the literary space. Then, you know, having conversations, and we're talking about maybe this is how poetry is written. You're seeing people criticizing, let's say, a work of fiction, criticizing a work of poetry, and initially I had that conflict in my head, because I'm like, is an artist not supposed to just let out what they... Well, like, of course you have these major things like, you know, grammar, you know, making the story clear, but telling someone, no, this concept is not how you're supposed to write your fiction. That has always felt so...
write your fiction? Because I'm trying to get it. Is it about the subject matter? Or the way you use language?
A bit of both, really.
Like there are subjects that are not literary?
Yeah, definitely. But I'm telling you now, in terms of getting into literary... Exactly. Publications, getting into a literary space.
Oh, is it the whole ideology thing, or...
Not really ideology per se. I feel like it's a publication thing. Because...
No, I mean, like, there's a publication which will be like, you know, we don't accept stories which have this or that, or this or that.
My views on that have changed over time. Because now, initially, I used to be like, why am I getting these rejections? Why am I getting these rejections? But then, after a while, you realize each of these magazines... Now, I'm not speaking as a writer, I think. I'm speaking as someone who is also inside publishing. Because you realize some of these magazines or books with call-outs usually want something specific.
Yeah.
And they have like lots of submissions, so they have to narrow down. But this should not mean that your work is not good.
True.
Yeah. Now my writer and editor side have clashed there. Because initially I used to be like, interesting. Like, yeah, I did get a rejection, but I'm like, why? You get?
Yeah.
You ask yourself, why is that? No, I think that's where the conflict was. Because you're like, is my writing not good enough? And I feel like that's how, or rather why, most young writers get discouraged and feel like probably what they're writing is not necessarily worth it, because of how the whole concept of submitting your work and getting acceptance is sort of kind of determines your prowess as a writer.
So at what point, you know, you're writing actually you're writing in your laptop, an exercise book, you know,
Both.
growing up? Both.
And
you start in the exercise book, then you type.
Then I type.
Okay.
And
at what point do you start sharing it with people?
Around, I mentioned Wattpad. When I was around 13 or so, I was writing, but then I wasn't like posting it, because you know I was on social media, but I wasn't posting it. I feel because I was still a bit shy about what I was writing. Yeah. But then when I was briefly in boarding school for like 2 terms, so I started writing on an exercise book in school. And what I was writing was, in a way, replicating what I had been reading on Wattpad.
Wow.
So I was writing, and then it used to circulate
Yes,
all through,
in
yeah.
the class, yeah?
Yeah, in the class.
Mhm.
Used
This
to
is high
go
school now?
High school, when I was in like Form 1. Used to
What are
write.
you reading around this point?
I was a very young teenager at that point. Just gotten into being a teenager. So I was mostly on Wattpad. I was reading so much on Wattpad.
What was your genre?
I was reading mostly romance, but not like just romance like that.
Romance.
It had something
it's not
to do
Twilight
with
kind of romance, not.
not really. It was. I was looking for stuff that had maybe mystery. I was very into mystery.
Mystery.
Yeah, mystery. I think this actually stemmed from being into Nancy Drew. Exactly. Yeah. So the work that I read, then I got into reading stuff about this mafia things and all of that. Yeah.
Still
the time,
on Wattpad?
Yeah, but I also was for quite a period of time obsessed with the Godfather series. So there was that.
The movies,
the movies books. And I was very obsessed with the franchise, and now I feel like rewatching and reading again.
you could just go and watch The Sopranos.
For some reason, I was talking to someone about 1 week ago, and they were mentioning The Sopranos, and they're like, "You've not?"
Have you watched Goodfellas?
Goodfellas?
Yeah.
No.
Well,
I know I should.
If you've watched, Godfather is different from those two. Because Godfather is more like a soap opera about the mafia. Yeah, that's how somebody put it, and I thought it was apt. And Goodfellas is a bit more like a documentary style thing. And Sopranos is similar. Like, they really get into the nitty-gritties. So Godfather is telling, like, like Shakespeare writing a play based on history. The play is not going to be like really factual.
Yeah,
it's a tragedy, which he is using characters from history to make that. So Godfather is sort of the same, yeah?
Yeah.
Goodfellas and especially Sopranos is quite realistic.
I get.
Yes. So the mafia there's this story told that when Sopranos was on, when it used to be on, the guys in the mafia used to watch. They used to tune in and watch every episode. And then the FBI, they were tracking them. They were listening to their calls, and they could hear those guys complaining to each other and wondering who has been snitching to the guys at Hollywood.
Because it's so direct.
Yeah,
it's exactly what's happening.
It's exactly what happens
Wow.
in their lives. Yeah. So if you are into the mafia, yeah.
I am definitely going to watch those.
So you were reading mafia stories.
Yeah, so I was doing the writing on Wattpad, reading mafia stories and
what genre were your stories based on at this time?
At that point, there were mostly romance that sort of sounded like chick flicks. Yeah, because I was very into chick flicks. I'm a teenager, so yeah.
You
see, to write about
the duality I was pointing at before. Because on one side is the chick flicks, on the other side you have the mafia. These are two very different genres to be into. And that's why I was trying to ask, like, does this reflect in your writing today? These two sides. One side which is maybe different from what, from like let's say there is a kind of writing you would write, and then people would be like, oh, women write romance, yeah? And then there's another type you would write, and then people are like, there's a new sort of, a voice in a new sort of area. That duality, like if you go into writing about the mafia, like the gaming thing, that is, yeah.
Interesting.
I'm psychoanalyzing.
Yeah, you're literally.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on a petri dish, being, Yeah. But that's quite interesting. It really makes me think. Really, really makes me think. Because part of what you've said has really made me think about, there's this book that I really love by Bell Hooks, all about love. There's a certain part of it, I think it was the first few chapters, there's a mention about how when women write about death, it's like they take them seriously.
Because women know about death and pain.
Because, exactly. And compared to when women write about love, that's how it was written in... I'm saying what was written in the book. Yes. And what made me think. Because I never remember the lines correctly. Yeah, so I'm not sure, but to some degree.
Who did you just, talk to?
I'm asking for forgiveness in case I'm butchering the book.
Because it looks like, she's dead. So it's
yes, exactly. It's to Bell Hooks, like
ghost,
yes, to your ghost. So there was a certain passage that I really related to, because I think she was talking about how, starting the book out, talking about love, talking about how people say that, when women talk about love, it's just like, yeah, like that's what I expected to talk about.
Okay.
You see?
Okay.
It's like, romance, most consumers of romance books are women.
Yeah.
Exactly. But when you look at most books of literature that are romance, they're written by men.
Really?
Yeah. That is what I remember from the passage. I've not done my due diligence.
But as a reader of romance, is this true?
The ones that I have read are written by women, like Jane Austen. Yeah.
So I really don't know what Bell Hooks was talking about.
But let's relate this to what I was saying.
Yes. But the quote is good. But
yeah. Okay, because it was written quite a bit back. I don't know how old the book is, but yeah, during that time, so now she was trying to explain her whole journey to what got her talking about love, like researching about it and all that. And I really related to that part about death. She talked about how, when women write about death, about grief, it's like they're taken more seriously. And this happened after I read this book, after I had already started writing about death. So I was like, oh, wow, I'm seeing myself. And now I shall circle back.
You're seeing yourself from which point of view? You write about death?
In terms of, yes.
You write about death a lot?
Quite. Yeah.
Okay.
So now from Wattpad.
So you're taken seriously because you write about death?
I wouldn't say that.
No, I mean that was her quote, yeah? Which you brought. Like I'm trying to understand the quote vis-a-vis what you are trying to point out.
I related to it because at that point of reading it, had started writing about death, and that's around when my work was getting more recognition. Yeah, and I was like, oh, interesting. This is when it's already happened.
Yeah.
So I was like, very, very fascinating. Actually, the story that got me the award was about grief. Yeah, because around 2021, I lost a very close friend, and then I lost another close friend, all within like 1 month. So, for me, at that point, like, I had known about death and grief and all of that, but it hadn't been so close to me. Yeah, because no one within my family, like, everyone was still around, and maybe the people who had passed were a bit far off. I hadn't really known them as much. But now I'm 19, seeing someone that I've grown up with die, and that really, it kind of twisted something in my brain. And they happened within like 1 month, 2 of them. So I was felt like I had been uprooted. Yeah, so now of course my expression turned into, trying to philosophize this whole death grief, all of that. And yeah, that's how that passage came about.
So
the
passage spoke to you.
Yeah, it spoke to me. Now I read it after I had already, experienced grief and everything, and that's led to how I describe my writing nowadays. I seek out elements of the human condition because that's what everyone relates to.
The
death.
more painful side, or do you also look into joy? Joy.
I feel like sometimes
fun, gaming. Or is that not, literary enough for you now? Like it doesn't feel worth writing about. It's something I think about, that people think that because you're a writer, you can write about anything. And this may be true for non-fiction. But in fiction, it's like being one of those apostles in the Bible, and you're told you go and preach to the people of Corinth, and don't that's your area, or you go and preach to the Jews. Like, we have a very specific niche for every writer, and every time you leave that area, not even the niche, like a specified thing, but a thing in you, in your heart, which speaks to you. And anytime you stray from this, what is inside you, you don't do well.
Yeah, that's true. Now for me, when I got into writing about grief and stuff like that, I found that most of my stories, I write best when I'm writing about stuff like that. Grief, what else? Losing things, change. Change is what now I'm trying to get into. Change, writing about change.
This is interesting because I really didn't know what I write about until I published a book, and then I read reviews, and then I saw somebody say every story in this book is about things disappearing, people disappearing. Like, there is something which is always missing. And I was like, it was like, like I went and looked at, and I've been writing for way long, and after they said that, I go and look, and I realized it's true. And it's not something you plan.
It's just subconscious.
So that's when I realized, actually, it's true. As a writer, there's an area, there's a playground that is for you.
True.
And maybe when you stray from that, you forget yourself.
Yeah, I have felt that, forgetting yourself, especially. But part of me is usually conflicted because I'm like, maybe I should try out other areas. I'm like, that's what I have to do to grow. I just force myself, because I feel like that sort of succeeded with poetry, but I realized that
you moved out into other areas in poetry.
But now I realized the stuff that I write is also just related to the whole darkness and sadness and death, and it's so subconscious sometimes. I'm just like, what?
There's this friend of mine who sent me a clip, a video, a TED talk. So it's like a TED performance more than a TED talk, by this improviser, improv comedy or improv acting or whatever they call it. This improviser, he's a teacher. He was a teacher of theater and improv on the improv. His name was Kip Johnston, British, and the theme of this talk was "Don't be original." And it was actually 2 days ago that I was listening to it, and I even went and looked for his book. And he said, and it really made sense to me, because he says we are told to be original, but actually what you should do is not to be original, because when you are trying to be original, you're trying to be clever, and the audience gravitates not to the clever, but to the obvious.
Yeah. That's true.
And
That
what is
so
obvious for you is actually what is original.
true.
It's original because it's what feels right for you. And now every time you try to be clever, you try to be original, you try to innovate, it won't even make people feel anything because it's not real.
Yeah.
So he said that in improv, the improvisers always try to be original, but the audience don't relate with that. So for instance, he gave this example of, you know how improv works, like you call, you give you call out a word or something, and that person is supposed to respond or whatever, and do something spontaneous. So because they are trying to be very spontaneous, so for instance, if you have a telephone there and you say the telephone is ringing, the improviser will the performer, instead of picking the telephone, which is the obvious thing to do, might hide under the table. But that's not interesting.
Yeah.
Because if you pick the telephone, it will be more interesting because something will be said, yeah? So the more obvious thing is to pick the telephone, but the improviser is trying to be original. So they do something which actually takes away the fun. So I think it's that way. When you were speaking, it reminded me of that.
I'm really thinking about that.
Yeah.
Because it's true, because if you think of it in terms of literature, for example, and how on social media you see people talking about how people are reading books that are not good because they are fun. You see, and they are selling so much.
Yeah.
Then now you compare it to when someone writes a story that now is original, as you're saying, and the amount of people interacting with it might not be so many, and that's how people are always being discovered. They're being discovered, and they're like, wow, how did nobody ever see it? And I've seen this also with art, because I've recently gotten into art, going to exhibitions and everything, and I'm always discovering artists who I think are new, but they've been painting for 20 years, and you're like, it's because their work is not conventional.
But I know what you mean, but I think there's a difference between what he meant and what you're talking about, because at the same time you don't want to do the same thing over and over. So I think artists also, they can be honest to themselves while also innovating. And what that can lead to sometimes is that they go so deep into themselves, into the abstraction of themselves, that they go far away from the audience. So the audience will catch up eventually.
Yeah,
they
but
need to grow. I think what he really meant was when you do it it's like a gimmicky sort of way.
Oh, I get.
Like it's not something coming from inside; it's from your head. So it's like you sit and say, oh, because I have already done this. No, now I want to do something different. Because I've already written about loss. Let me now write about happiness, or whatever. And it's not something you feel like you want to write
naturally.
Yeah, you don't naturally want to write about it. So then, a more innovative thing would be, it's not I love, but I feel at home writing about this theme. What about if I've written about loss from the point of view of the person who remains and has lost somebody? What if I write about it from the point of view of the person who is going and knows how they are going? Like you are dying and people are going to feel pain. That's another side of it. You see, that's innovation still.
Playing within your field.
Yes, you're still playing within your field. Like, or if you wrote about loss, where somebody lost a person, but you could do it from the point of view of something which people normally don't think of. You lost a tree.
Oh.
They cut down your
Actually.
favorite tree. And that tree, you know, there's that whole thing about trees. Yes?
My avocado tree.
They cut down your tree. You told me this earlier.
Yeah.
So like you lose the tree, and that can actually give you a very powerful and original story. And you weren't trying to be original, but it is original still. I think that's what happens when you go and see like great artists who haven't been discovered. Maybe what they have produced is something that people still, maybe most people don't relate with trees, but they could relate with, a person, losing a person. So if you write about losing a tree, maybe it won't relate with a lot of people. But eventually, when people become a bit more educated, they realize, actually she was on to something. And then that's when you say, oh, she was ahead of her time.
What do you think makes a good, I want to say art as an umbrella term. You're going to use art, literature, and everything. You think it's good when it receives like a lot of recognition, or when it's original? Because I see that a lot of people, when something receives recognition, that's when they're like,
For me, I feel like recognition is something that comes. Okay, let me give you an example. If you cook, there's a smell, like the aroma. Recognition is not aroma. It's not part of the food. Recognition is something else. It comes later. It's not part of the food. So the aroma is now the originality. It's an intrinsic part of the work of art. It is there whether the recognition is there or not. And Vincent van Gogh was not recognized by anyone when he was alive. You know how you talk about when you say, oh, I am not getting recognized because people, my art is not getting distributed, like my books are not getting to them. Vincent van Gogh's brother was a dealer, paintings, like he used to sell paintings or whatever. He could sell all sorts of paint. He could do all that for other paintings, and his brothers were not selling. Like the distribution was there. It's just that he was so way ahead of his time in terms of what he was seeing and what he was feeling, that nobody was able to comprehend how his art was manifesting. Because when you express emotions that maybe people haven't felt, and haven't felt, especially in art, it manifests in some grotesque fashion. Grotesque because people are not used to it. So the way he used the colors and everything. So people did not gravitate to his work, but today people will tell you, oh, he's my favorite artist. But the question is, if you had lived in his time, would he have been your favorite artist? Picasso wasn't recognized by many people. Even today, a lot of people still don't feel the vibe, cubism. Actually, I usually feel that when something is recognized too fast, it's not that good. Well, it could be very good, but I also feel like the masses are usually so far behind of what real art is. So when something is recognized immediately, I wonder about it. Like Rupi Kaur is recognized by the masses, do you think she'll be recognized? Like, we will still be talking about her in 50 years? No. Okay. Do you think? Exactly. But there's a poet today who maybe people don't know about. A poet who may be recognized by writers. And then maybe 20 years later, maybe they teach that person's poems in school, yeah. So that means the next generation grows up learning that person's poetry. And what happens? That person's poetry, the language of that person's poetry, the vision of that person's poetry becomes mainstream. So that person becomes recognized by the entire society. But it took that person like 20 years.
Yeah.
Because that's how far they were. Like the society needed to absorb this, to be taught this new thing. So I always feel that the first people to recognize an original piece is usually people who themselves are on that level in terms of understanding art. It could be other writers, it could be fellow critics, or it could be just people who are very deep.
Interesting. I also hold the same view in what you've said about how the originality matters. Do you think this whole state of things with originality and recognition, do you feel like it affects most artists? Again, artist as an umbrella term. It does affect, and if you are writing and you have a specific audience in mind, and that audience is the people who give the recognition, it definitely affects how you write. It definitely affects how you create. For me, I personally like to say that I write for me, and people like me. Same. Like I write for me. Like when I'm writing, I don't want to write for the market. I don't want to write for the academy. I don't want to write for the critics. Don't want to write for other writers. I just want to write for me, like what feels right to me. Otherwise, I actually can't write. When I try to write for other people, it doesn't interest me at all. So if I try to write for the masses, there are things I won't write. Like I will try to come up with formulas that fit what they want. But when I write for me, I can write some really weird stuff and then wonder who will even enjoy this. But the funny thing is, somehow people like it. People do like it, and maybe not all people, but there are some people who will like it. Those are people who understand what, I don't think if they understand, but these are the people who are supposed to read what you wrote and take it. And others will eventually learn that language that you speak. They will learn it eventually, and they will enjoy it eventually, even if it takes 20 years or 50 years. Yeah, so it does affect. I don't think somebody should chase that. I think you write for yourself first, and then you submit to different places, or you publish and sell it to the public and see who will like it, who will not like it. Yeah. You know how we usually say that when you're writing, don't be an editor. Yeah. I think also when you're writing, don't be a businessman. Because that's like business, like you want recognition because recognition will bring you money. Exactly. So you don't be a businessman when you're writing. Don't be the entrepreneur. Don't be the person who is thinking about how it will be received, but thinking more of that thing you're doing. Because I think creating art is a childlike thing. And it has to stay that way. Yeah. Yeah, because it's not a very respectable thing, being an artist. It is respectable, when you get the recognition. Yeah. And I think that's why artists get addicted to recognition. Because creating itself, when you're doing it, it's very childish. Yeah, you're just playing around with stuff, with words, with paint, clay, with paint. So you want the recognition so that you can feel like your ego can be can feel good, like, oh, I'm important. But actually that childishness, that's creativity. True, even Jesus has said, let the children come to me. The kingdom of heaven is like the little children. So the kingdom of art
is like the kingdom of creativity is like the little children, and children don't care, what people think. You just play. It's play actually. Creativity is play.
Yeah.
That is a state of play.
And I feel like that's where now, in most artists, there's that conflict within them. Because for a period of time, I also had that, like, a really major conflict, and I was unable to write for like months. This was actually just after I got the award, and now I was very conflicted because I was wondering, do I have to write stuff exactly like that so that you can get, because chasing that feeling is pretty subconscious. Because if you ask me consciously, like, I don't want, but it might be a human thing. It's just inside there subconsciously, because it feels good. It's like a dopamine rush.
And validated.
Exactly, because who doesn't want to be validated? We're human. So
it's the main reason actually a lot of us get into art. Like, if you write and people read it and they love it, you want to do it again.
True. And I think that's even how now, when I started sharing my work and it was being received well, I was wondering, oh my God, like, I have to do this. I have to continue writing. But then there's always been that conflict about writing for yourself, writing for other people. I've had so many conversations, so many arguments with fellow artists about that. And they're like, if you write for yourself, it's just the same thing you're saying. You might not get like recognition, you might not get into like the arts as a career per se, because you're just going to be doing it, but you're not like getting anything from it. But if you align yourself with what the masses want, which most times I just feel like it's distasteful, because it's not you, it's just it's like you're a vessel through which it's like you're working for people, like producing something for them. It's like you're offering them a service. Like, I want to entertain you with this. Like, you're dancing for them. Dancing is good, but it's like you're dancing for them on stage. Like, this is what we're doing. They change their minds. No, now we're bored. We want to read this type of work. You change and read this. It ends up making you feel empty. Because you don't have the foundation, the strong foundation inside you. And especially now that I just finished uni and everything, and I'm still in that space where I'm wondering, I'm like, this path, where exactly? There's art, then there's also what most people are doing, like getting into corporate and all of that. And I've had a conversation with my friends who are now artists. Some of them are artists, but they've gotten into corporate. And it's like you can't survive only if you don't like do what the masses want, because that's how you get money, that's how you get this and you get that. And there's so much conflict inside someone's head, because you're wondering, what should I do? Because if you go one way, you feel soulless, and if you go another way, you struggle a lot. So now back to the after I got the award and I was unable to write, it started feeling like a performance, like I was on stage. I remember at some point I got sad, because I was like, damn, now that people have set some sort of expectation, award-winning writer. So I feel like the work that I'm writing becomes more scrutinized. You see, it's like there's so many eyes on it. And the way I used to write and the way that I write now, the creative process becomes a bit different. Because there's that voice in the back of my head that's like, will it be as good? And I think that's where the conflict we were talking about way earlier also comes in, because you're like, will it be good? And when your mind keeps on doing that to you, you are just in stasis and you just can't do anything. So now for some months I wasn't writing. I was trying to write, then I'm like, maybe I should. Then at the same time I'm having those conversations with people that I've now met within the literary world, where they're like, you should do it this way, do it this way. So I was just suspended there and feeling burnt out, just wondering, will what I write be received well again? Then sending your work out and posting your work and everything, and feeling a bit more anxious about it, because now there's so many eyes on it. Yeah. So for me, it has affected the creative process, but I feel like this year and late last year I've been getting back into it. Yeah, in terms of the creative process, because it's not that I wasn't writing at some I wasn't writing, but then at some point it's like it's a bottle and it was becoming full. So it was just like psh. Sometimes I just got down, I wrote. There's this piece that I submitted for Brittle Paper. I was very overwhelmed and everything. I just sat down one night, wrote it in like 2 hours. I was feeling it in my head, you know. That's how most of my writings come about. I'm just feeling it in my head. I have to let it out, put it down, write it. And because I had submitted once to Brittle Paper and I'd gotten a rejection like 2 days before, I was just like, I can submit again. So the next morning after I wrote it, I submitted and it was accepted, and I was like, interesting. So burnout, the friction, confusion really affected how my writing process, my creative process rather. But slowly by slowly been getting back into it, and it's going pretty well. So
you know what you were speaking about earlier, the loss. So you could say that this is when you found your voice, you know, because after that you've been writing in that vein and getting recognition, and more of your stories are coming that way.
Yeah.
So I really wonder about that, like what was the thing one writes before, you know, before that thing happens and you find yourself. What does everything that you did before represent?
It represented who I was before, because I was like, have you seen these memes about canon events in your life? Yes. That was like a canon event for me. So because before that I was running a WordPress blog and I was writing some series on a time traveler, which is why my blog is even called The Time Traveler's Mistress. My usernames on social media for my writings are Bibliophilic Mistress. I was doing a whole time traveler thing, and if you look through my old blog, the pieces are named, they have ears in their names. I was also obsessed with time travel at some point, like really fixated. It's like being a character jumping from this age to this age, this age and this age. Then now, when that event happened, it sort of shifted how I was writing, because that specific story was still written in the same writing style, but now of course it was influenced by the loss. So now once there was recognition, I think I subconsciously started writing about loss more.
What if one day it goes away? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it just goes away.
You heal. And you know, this is something. This, I love this paradox. You know, if you heal, the thing that you feel makes your writing what it is now is gone. Would it be like? Would you then cling to your pain? You know how I was asking somebody, like some artists, they cling to their so-called, so to speak, madness or their pain or the thing that hurts them. Because if they lose that thing, like let's say it could be an addiction, because if they lose it, they feel they lose the thing that makes them interesting as an artist. Have you ever thought of that?
Yeah, I definitely have.
Is it a fear?
Not really a fear, but I'm always joking about it with my friends about how if I get quote unquote fixed, I won't write anymore. Yeah, because most of the writing. Before. Okay, I did write before. But you feel whatever you wrote before was not interesting enough. It didn't have as much weight as whatever now I'm writing that is pushed out by, whatever's going on inside. Because I do find that most of the best stories that I write when I'm on an extreme. Could either be extremely sad, extremely angry. Yeah, mostly those two. So you won the award, and then you've written for Brittle Paper, Kalahari. Is it fiction, or you also now go into non-fiction? I've only published one personal essay, and that was very new ground for me. Yeah. Although it's similar ground, personal essay, and there's a thin line between fiction. This fiction which is almost like autobiographical fiction, and the personal essay. Yeah. Oh, and then there's also, of course, creative nonfiction. Yeah. I feel like my essay was edging towards that creative nonfiction because it was nonfiction. But of course, it didn't feel like and the language non-fiction. You used the language of fiction. Yes. I wrote it how I write. So. What was it about? It was about teeth. Teeth? Yes. That's actually the name of the personal essay. I wrote it for this publication called WhoWhatWhere magazine. Yeah. What about it? It was about my struggle. Would I call it a struggle? My relationship with my teeth. Yes. Ever since I was very small, up to around 20 there. Yeah. I'm really curious. When you were when you decided to write about teeth, did you know you had enough to speak about teeth that would give you enough material to fill an essay? At first, I really didn't. Yeah, I didn't. I was actually a bit terrified when I started writing because, I was used to being a fiction writer. And also, I'm not very open about myself. I share a lot in terms of writing. I share a lot on social media, but I barely speak about myself. So now that was a very personal thing. Yeah. My relationship, because up to that point, it's less than 5 or 6 people that I had ever spoken to about that. About your teeth? Yeah, about my relationship with it completely. So it was a very scary thing to write, and I didn't even ever have the materials. I remember when I wrote the first 2 lines on Google Docs, and I was wondering, am I going to tell people all of that? It was so personal. And of course, as an artist, you have to show yourself and everything. So now I was really fighting with that because I've written fiction and everything, and I have put my truths in my fiction, but I've not really done it there's always it's just a work of fiction. Exactly. Most times I'm usually just it's just a story. It's just a story. The whole time it's something that I have experienced, or even people who I have experienced, and I've put them in my stories, and I can sort of run away from that. But now this was a personal essay, and I had written it down and I had submitted it somewhere, but now they hadn't gotten back to me in a couple of months. So now I had submitted it to the bank. But then they hadn't gotten back to me in a couple of months. Then they got back to me after it had been picked by someone else. So I was like, interesting. So it was like it was
Good
actually
one.
a good,
Yeah.
like when you write about yourself, because you're
Yeah.
honest, you're...
Did you share it on your socials, on your platforms?
I did, but I was very scared. And
Did you share it on WhatsApp?
I did.
Ah.
My mom and my dad even read it,
Uh-huh.
and they were surprised.
Ah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I barely
Mm-hmm.
speak about myself.
Yeah.
Like I talk a lot. When I'm with my friends and everything, they can tell you I talk a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the times, I subconsciously just don't share things about extremely personal things about
Mm-hmm.
myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say on social media. So
Yeah.
I was posting it there, and then people are liking it. Then I actually felt my heart was so warmed when within some groups that I'm in had posted it, and people were inboxing me now privately to tell me, I relate to your personal essay. Like, such a long message, I relate to it. I've been trying to find words to talk about something like that. I just felt like I was alone.
What even prompted you to write about you?
For me, they were it was something major. When you walk out on the street, I always used to have, it's like it had been hammered inside my head by myself. I'm walking in the street and seeing people laughing, everything. I'm just looking at their teeth. And it's very subconscious, because I used to be now self-conscious about my own teeth. When you walk around with someone, always, like, you see how people are usually twins. You're always with your twin. It's like the whole concept of teeth would have been seated there. It's just like with me.
It's your elephant in the room.
Exactly. Exactly. So I started writing it in an effort to let something out. Yeah, because I had always been wanting to write about that experience, because when I was writing about it, I had reached a point where I had gotten over it. So I wanted to write a story about it, and just like, it's like I'm putting it inside a grave and putting a wreath on the grave, and I'm like, yeah, it's dead and it's over. I wanted to let it out of my system to tell the story. Then now, coincidentally, I had seen the call out for debunk within some groups about writing. It was about debunk women. Yeah. And they were calling for personal essays. So I was like, interesting. I should just finish whatever I've been skirting around with that draft. So now I sat down, then I wrote about it, how it started from when I was small up to when I got into seeing the orthodontist that I have right now, up to now, that is. But I was very terrified about writing it, because it's like when you're traumatized by something, and then someone comes and starts asking you questions about it. So you start feeling what you used to feel. Yeah, so I was very terrified about sharing it. Actually, when it was posted, I didn't even want to look at my phone, because now people were asking me, because there's some people that I have mentioned in the story and everything, they're coming to text me, they're like, I didn't know you were going through that. And then it's like, I didn't want you guys to feel bad for me, stuff like that, you see. I think that also ties to the thing about being sort of reclusive, because it feels like so many people are looking at you and it feels a bit unsafe. Yeah, but now that, and being in the literary space, in the art space, it's helped me shake off most of the reclusiveness, most of it. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm still a bit antsy about writing more personal essays, but I should, because again, what scares you makes you grow. So
True. What do you think you would write about, off the top of your head?
I'm really fighting some drafts about change. I've been fighting them since last year. Change. Yeah, change. Writing about the concept of change. There's a draft I have had since mid last year, and we have been at war. Just open it, look at it, write 2 lines, and I'm like, yeah, but I feel like one of these days I'll just sit down and write it.
Do you feel?
I feel like I'm getting closer to.
Are you on the cusp of some change? You know, career change.
I have been actually. Now considering my life has gone from, being a student.
Yeah.
And now, like, of course, I became an adult when I got into university. But now, like, adulting now.
Yeah.
I'm out of uni and it's like, shwa, I'm in the world.
Yeah. At some point, you became aware of your generation as a writer. At what point?
When I got into the literary space, around late 2022 there, like within the country now, because, I've been submitting elsewhere, but I've not really found community per se with other writers. Yeah, because of course there was online, social media, people that I know, people who know that I write on a blog, but it didn't feel tangible.
Was it a specific community that you found?
I got into Qwani now as it was starting
with
all
a
that.
Q.
Yeah, Qwani with a Q as it was starting, and now from that I started going to other literary events. Yeah, because before Qwani actually, and going to I'm telling you, I was very reclusive. Not barely leaving the house. Yeah. So now, after going to a couple of the events, and then I was joining Qwani itself, and now going to most of these events are usually at Allianz, Gote, all of that. So now I started getting friends, like actual tangible friends who are writers who are in literature, who love read. Of course, they're readers, but now people who are within that space. Yeah. Then now from there, that's when I started noticing that there's an older generation. Like, yeah, of course, I was aware of it, but not like very aware. You're just looking at books in the shelves. You're like, oh yeah, that's a writer who is probably like this age, but you don't really think about it until now you're within the space and you are like in events, you're having these conversations with people. Yeah, I feel like it's during one of these events that I actually first ran into you. One of these, I can't remember which. You were in a panel discussion.
Oh, that was.
Yes.
That was the book fair. 2023.
Yes. So
I think I did see you before that. Yeah. I learned of Qwani. There was this event you guys did, Yashang.
Oh yeah, there's
and you had Tony Mochama.
Yeah, he was there. Yeah.
Yes, and I remember you being mentioned. You had won some award at that. That's when
and coincidentally, I was not even there for that.
You were not there?
I was not. I was somewhere else.
Okay. I didn't. Okay, I thought you were
but
there.
No, it was probably mentioned.
From my memory, it says the girl who won an award was mentioned there, and she was there.
I wasn't there for that one, but because it was around then, during that event, just after.
That was 2022, I think.
No. The Shine event.
Oh, 2023?
I think it was in 2023, because...
Okay. Then maybe earlier in the year.
Probably, because... Yeah, I think it was probably mentioned there. Then now there was a panel discussion where you were there. It was...
That was September 2023.
Yeah. So now, like, such kinds of spaces. Like,
you were with Akina Keith and Frank.
Okay. Yeah. So now, I think now consistently attending like such events, that's where I got to like know other writers, got to know their history. People were telling me they've been writing for a couple of years, and I was just excited because I'm like, yeah, they're not so far away, they're not so far off as I would have thought they were. Because when you think of someone like Ngugi wa Thiong'o, it's like, wow, he's just there. Like, when will you or even Miyamoto is
Yeah.
like, when will you come and sit and like talk to him? It's like so,
Yeah.
it's far.
It's far.
Yeah, but now when you consciously recognize, like you meet first people within the spaces, then now you hear their stories, and then you see that they're tangible, they're right next to you. It really makes you, or rather it really made me now think about myself as a writer, my place as a writer, my journey, because I bet now for them, even when they were my age, they were also probably going through such conflicts and all of that. Yeah, and it gave me people to like look at and be like, yeah, we can do this thing. Yeah.
Is there any difference you notice? Like when you say this is our thing, our generation, we are like this, when as writers, because it's something I'm curious about. Is there something of the sort? Like even like let's say you guys you've published the Qwani books 2 or 3. When you go through them, is there something like a thread that you see, like there's something here that unites these people? There's something similar about this generation as writers?
I believe there's the whole aspect of rebellion. Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah, it's definitely there. Like,
and did you notice this like before last year, the protest? Did you notice it before or after the protest it now became so evident?
After the protest is when it became more evident, but it was always there, like at the back, because you're like, oh, there's something different with this, with how we do things for some reason. I feel like sometimes every generation believes they're different.
True.
There's that, yeah.
They are.
Yeah, okay, yeah, true. There's
because they come up in different conditions.
Because now, when you look at the protests,
like my generation didn't grow up with the internet. We come to it later, when we are maybe teenage or adult. You guys grew up with the internet, which is a whole different way of growing up. A whole different language, whole different things you are exposed to that we weren't exposed to growing up. And then the guys before us, maybe they grew up with maybe they didn't have access to TV the way we did. Because for us it's TV, we had access to TV. The guys before us maybe didn't have access to TV, television, maybe they had just one channel. And then the ones before that, radio. The ones before that, newspapers.
Yeah, and it's so interesting how I feel like that's such an interesting topic to look into.
Yeah, it
like
is.
the differences in generations based on the type of media that they consumed. Probably just unlocked a new hyperfixation. But now in terms of my generation, I would say, now putting aside that whole every generation must think that they're different, more rebellion, I would say, a different way to do things, because now we've grown up more open to the whole world. So we have access, we have had access to so many different ways of doing things, so many different ways of thinking, that people might have stumbled upon, probably if they took more time. Kitambo, when there wasn't such access, like just the click of a button you can find whatever you want to find. It was sort of a voyage for someone to get to learn certain things, maybe form certain opinions, form things, So now it happened quicker for a generation. Yeah. Which is why now, of course, other generations might have seen like we've been so whenever people always talking about Gen Z's in the working place, stuff like that, they're like, they're just which words do people use?
I don't know.
It's more or less
like
they don't.
They do their own thing.
They do their own thing. They don't want nini. Because
they could
I feel
just get up and leave and like
exactly.
You know, nimeenda lunch.
Nameenda hivyo tu. And
yes.
I feel like even when I'm having some conversations with some older relatives, there's some stuff that I have just left like that, and they're like, wasn't that too fast? You didn't think about it so much. I'm just like, it's not serving me. I'm out. And I feel like it's because the process of discovery of yourself, not like it's 100% discovery of yourself, but it's a bit fastened because of all that access. It's
I get you.
So now, for example, that's
how the media has affected you.
Exactly, because everything is like fast, and then of course it does have its downsides because it's like your brain is saturated. It makes you sadder. It makes you overwhelmed, and it's like you have so much on your shoulders. It's too much information. And there's always this thing that I'm usually seeing on social media about how people were never really meant to know this many things. In terms of like, let's say we're here, you are probably supposed to know about what meters of radius, like that's the type of information you're supposed to have within a certain area, because if you know so much, it saturates your brain and you have so much incongruence inside your head. And it leads of course to like cognitive dissonance, stuff like that, and it's a lot. It's a lot. Basically that's
perfect. So that was Natasha Muhanji in another episode of Conversations in Literature. My name is Eric Rugara. Some people know me as Miyamoto Muswahili. Conversations in Literature is sponsored by Nairobi Academic Press, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Roaring Simba Network.